Alpha.
Hey, what's up, Sony Alpha? My name's Trevor Adeline, and I shoot for stock. I've been shooting stock for a bunch of years now, and I've learned from some of the world's top-selling stock photographers. This experience has given me the know-how to create my own production company to service these content needs. Best of all, I get to create content that I choose. These targeted shoots enabled me to create an epic portfolio. I'm here today to share some of my insights into the industry and lessons I've learned over the past few years. My hope is that you too can create an enjoyable journey to full-time photographer and become a creative entrepreneur. So let's crack on. So, just to give you a bit of background into my journey, I studied at a university where I learned about things like student loans and took whatever job I could just to get on set. Sometimes just doing the dishes just to learn from the top dogs. I knew that I had to learn from the ground up. So I did. I learned the production business as a production assistant. I learned the equipment and grips from working at a rental gear company. I learned lighting as a lighting assistant on commercial sets. I learned about final delivery as a digital assistant. I learned about batch post-production as a retoucher for stock agencies. I learned how to direct and compose a shoot as a cruise ship photographer. And then I finally landed my first gig as a head photographer. This is where I learned to conceptualize and pitch for clients. And now I'm learning to teach as I offer my experience to you to help your journey become a quicker one. For those of you who are new to stock and selling content online, stock started back in the 20s in an effort to save costs. Rather than hiring photographers, it became a commission-based payment structure. Publishers and advertisers began to see stock as a less risky alternative. And releases meant that images could be used commercially. Today, the same principles apply. Although the stock agencies are firmly focused on the end user, the global market is driven by the trend for on-demand crowdsourced images. This billion-dollar industry now supports the insatiable demand for visuals, for user engagement and retention. Stock visuals has thus evolved into an array of media. Video, photo, virtual reality, illustrations, vectors, all come with licenses of editorial, archival, and creative options. And this ever-changing environment is going to continue to mold to the content needs of society as technology expands our perspectives. This huge demand for content is an opportunity for innovative and creative content creators to feed the content beast. At the moment, there seems to be a huge disconnect between image creators and image users. Creators aren't really sure what the buyers really want, and in turn, they don't really know what to shoot or how to go about the productions. One thing you need to understand is that the sheer scope of purchasing on stock libraries is massive. $4 billion, massive. Businesses and entrepreneurs are purchasing a variety of subject matter because of the intrinsic nature of the human race. Think about advertising agencies, blogs, publishing houses, TV, films, NGOs, designers, social media, just to name a few, are all looking for content like landscapes, events, architecture, portraits. Everything the market is oversaturated. Check out some of the current reports on the internet. They're all expecting an industry growth of about $4 million by 2023. Industry growth. The reality is that stock is a vital source of content for most. For publications to put up the budget of a full-scale production for each of their blog posts is just unachievable. Creative businesses are squeezed by tight budgets, short turnarounds, multiple media briefs. This is why this is such a beautiful business model for me. Choice content, affordability, accessibility, and convenience to the end users. I don't need to hassle on the marketing game. I just need to focus on quality images because the marketing is already catered for in this ecosystem. I can clearly focus on my craft and become the best storyteller that I can be. Porn's new trends is insatiable. The food chain is a simple supply and demand equation. We have our epic creators on the one hand who supply kick-ass content, and then we have the agencies who act as a middleman who then feeds the content demands of planet Earth. Top 4 agencies by market cap: Getty Images, Adobe, iStock, and Shutterstock. If you choose to go direct, these players offer the most traffic and the highest revenue. Smaller stock agencies are being cut down to a select few due to intense price competition. Niche agencies are then popping up to cover these gaps, coming out with new license models for both users, and creators. There are loads of resources out there for contributors to streamline all of their uploads and admin. There are keywording services, retouching services, tons and tons and tons of resources out there. But not many people know that there are other options too. Once vetted, you join a community of art directors and industry professionals who offer direct feedback on your productions in real time, and they do the admin for you. Bulked in with the library's huge monthly submissions, you get higher page results. What I mean by all of this is that there's access to buyers. It's defined mostly by your creativity, coupled with a specific system shooting specifically for stock. Making decent headway means focusing in the same way as you would any creative business, to create a continuous and sustainable cycle. Why is this relevant as a creator? Because it's your job to create. As a creator, I'm sure you're already thinking of income generating avenues, planning the production, directing the shoot, fine-tuning your goods in post for final delivery. This in its essence is a production schedule. To focus on effectively growing your portfolio, or as we like to refer to content as assets. The more content you have, the more chances you're going to have of making a sale. The more creative you are, the more your work is going to stand out. And the more relevant you are, the more your content will feed the content beast. Know that your creativity has value, especially in terms of usage and licenses. The content that I'm already earning from through stock libraries, I also use to create direct sales and to market a content company. You see, I own the content, not a client. In this way, you're doubling down on creating income through entrepreneurial ventures as well, using the same content that you're already earning an income from to create more income. To be fair, not everybody is going to make an income through stock. The quality out there being produced is inspiring trends. Dodgy handshake images or happy snaps from your last holiday, unfortunately, it's just not going to make the cut. These visuals are defining our world, and so too is everybody's visual literacy. Becoming a full-time creative, if you're not already there, means honing your craft. For me, it gave me the opportunity to slowly form my creative style and professional foundation, while still earning an income at the same time. I grew my portfolio and experience one shoot at a time. We can run a full-scale production at a commercial level required to take on big direct clients. But this passion for creating needs to be a driving force in your career. Ideas are currency. We stock creators use a particular system for creating specifically for stock. So I've put together a list of 4 tips to give you the best opportunity to get the most bang from your buck from your next stock shoot. Number 1, define your quality. The quality of your work that you put out will be the first thing to determine if anyone is going to pay attention to it. Your images are going to be bulked among 50 on a page, and yours needs to stand out. Think of quality as decisions and questions you ask yourself before and during the shoot. How are you going to create something remarkable? Is it the way you set your aperture and composition to create an emotional message? Is it the way you produce controversial subjects with color blocking? Perhaps it's the choice of people you wish to represent, or the way you prop your still life, or the way you direct your cast. Awesome thing is that you're the one that determines your level of creativity. This may seem obvious, but these decisions can be make or break when playing with the big dogs. Plenty of peer groups out there who'd be happy to crit your work and to help you grow to get to the point where you are competitive. Number 2, quantity comes from variation. Your goal should be to become a versatile photographer, someone who is comfortable shooting most subjects from different perspectives. The thing about stock is that if you continue to shoot the same subjects, then you're going to pigeonhole yourself and land up being your own competition, because there are only so many people out there looking for a corporate handshake image. So on the day, make sure to use different locations, different styling, different stories, and shoot both photo and video. This creates leverage for you by offering diversified value and higher sales at the end of the day. In this endeavor, your camera will be your ally to assist in speedy transitions. I use the A7R3, which gives me customized settings and quick access to both photo and video. With one, I capture very high resolution images, fit for cropping and still staying within submission requirements. And then I shift seamlessly into video, where I shoot the same scene in 4K. Using the eye autofocus means that my images are always sharp and I never miss a shot. Number 3 is the relevance of your images. The nice thing about stock is that most subjects are open for shooting. But keep it inspirational, as businesses and entrepreneurs are the main buyers in this game, and add similar concepts to your shoot plan. Be sure to use concepts that are evergreen and classic, and won't go out of fashion anytime soon. Lastly, let's talk about budget. I rate budget on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being no budget, but I have a camera. 10 being I got plenty budget. So these are the two ends of the spectrum. If you don't have any budget, then you're on the hustle side of the spectrum. And you need to utilize what resources you have available. You have Facebooks full of model groups and people looking for portfolio material, and there are families interested in trading model releases for free photo shoots. You have beautiful natural spaces or parks or cityscapes right at your door. You have natural sunlight 12 hours a day, and you have businesses in your town that are happy to trade for content. You may have a lot more at your disposal than you know. Reaching out to people is simple and can lead to winning content for next to nothing. If you're just entering the game, then the hustle side of the spectrum is where you're going to be until you get a good understanding of what your content is doing in the market. Most of us who have been in the game for a bit lie in the middle of the spectrum. We make our budget work for us to give us a smoother production. We hustle to keep the budget in check and to do more productions, of course. In conclusion, guys, stock is not a get-rich-quick scheme, but there is a system for getting it right. And when you get it right, you get it right. See your content for the creative assets that they are. And systemizing your workflow can not only mean that you start earning a royalties-based income while you sleep, but also supporting your entrepreneurial journey into becoming a full-time content creator and creating the content that you choose. Just as you would start any business today, you understand that content creation is a business. And the content you create for the user and the service you offer for the agency needs to stand out. In our upcoming video series for Sony, we're going to run through a full production from beginning to end and show you how to execute productions like a ninja. I'm going to take you on an in-depth tour in our recipes for production and directing and our workflow and huge data and much, much, much more.